How's it going, folks? One of the questions that we field so often is how can we become better hunting photographers? And this video is going to be geared towards the beginning photographer, somebody who's using a camera cell phone or a point and shoot camera. So we're going to get down to the really basic stuff. So if you're into higher level DSLR cameras, or if you're more of an advanced photographer, this might not be the right video for you. But with that being said, we decided to create 5 tips for helping you become a better hunting photographer. Tip number 1 is always understanding your lighting situation. So by that I mean, for example, right now, the light is really diffused because we have this cloud cover around me. You're going to notice that there aren't really deep shadows or really bright highlights. Whereas if you're hunting in the middle of the day and there's no clouds in the sky, it's a bluebird day, you're going to really notice that there's really hot highlights. By that I mean is the sky is going to be really bright, and then the shadows, so behind me where these trees are going to be super dark. There's going to be a lot of contrast. Right now with the diffused light, like I said, we don't have that. Also, shooting in the golden hours is prime time. So we're talking from sunrise till an hour after in the morning, and then an hour prior in the evenings through sunset. That is usually the best time to get great colors in the sky and great light hitting your subject. Rule number 2 is rule of thirds, and this is a very basic photography principle. And I want you to imagine this screen with 2 vertical bars and 2 horizontal bars. That'll give you 3 sections on top, 3 sections in the middle, and 3 sections in the bottom. What you want to do is put your subject where 2 of those lines cross. So for example, right here, this photo is perfectly thirded. Here, this photo is just kind of hanging out in the middle. You'll notice that when you are using the rule of thirds, it's scientifically proven that your eyes go to the subject easier that way. It's easier for your eyes to focus on that subject. Whereas if it's in the middle, you'll notice that it's kind of awkward. I challenge you to watch some TV shows, look in your magazines at some advertising, and you'll realize how much this rule is implemented into photos. Tip number 3 is shoot from different angles. A lot of times beginning photographers will only hang out in this zone right here, the eye level to chest level, and they'll only take photos in vertical or portrait mode, one or the other. You always need to be switching this up. For example, if I'm walking down this road behind me and I find a deadhead from the year before and I say, oh, this is cool, let's take a picture. I pull my phone out and take a snap of it right above it. You'll see right here, it's not much of a photo. But if I get down at a lower angle and I use my rule of thirds that I just talked about, we can get a pretty good photo out of that little buckhead that's on the road. So always try and change it up, shoot from different angles, get far away from your subject. For example, when you're glassing in the evenings, get away from your subject and show the landscape with your subject in it, and that'll just show the magnitude of your landscape. Another example is when you're glassing, you can get real close and show the fine details of the optics or whatever you're trying to show. Rule number 4 is tell the whole story. We don't always want to see a kill shot. We don't always want to see a trophy shot. We don't always want to see somebody drawing their bow back or looking down their rifle barrel. It's really important to tell all aspects of the hunt. For example, Marcus shot a really cool picture of me a couple weeks ago on my first western bear hunt. Moving here from Ohio, you can tell how hard it is for me to get up that hill. You can see by the sweat and by the fact that my head's down and I'm trucking up this hill that it's really taking a lot out of me. But it really shows how tough it is to spot and stalk bear hunt in Montana. So always be sure to tell the whole story through your photos. Don't just get stuck on those cool looking bow pulling back and looking down the rifle shots. Everybody does those. Our 5th and final tip is kind of a combination of the previous 4. It has to do with trophy photos. And what you want to do with a trophy photo is really make sure that you clean off that game that you just harvested, and make sure that the tongue is inside the mouth. And then you want to use all the tips that I just talked about and compose a really good looking trophy photo that you can look back on years and years from now and enjoy. With that being said, hopefully you can take these tips with you into the woods this fall and become a much more successful hunting photographer. And if you like this video, let us know below and we can make much more in-depth, detailed videos on photography, videography, what have you. Thanks for watching.